Hello, my name is Luke Hicks, and today I will be presenting my presentation on the effects of retrospective self-talk on self-confidence and the relationship with golf handicap score. So, what is the issue? Both amateur and professional golfers both struggle with issues of self-confidence and performance anxiety. This leads to negative impact on their golf scores, and many people want to change this. According to Heron and Belalik in 2022, their models indicated that those who possess higher levels of anxiety reported greater disruption to golf performance. Now, what is a golf handicap score? So a golf handicap score is determined by the difficulty of the course and the performance of the golfer. Both of these are numerically represented by their golf handicap score, and the golf handicap score is designed to create a level playing field between all golfers, so that people of all different types of skill level and can all play the same game together. A high handicap means that the golfer is struggling with their performance, and a low handicap golfer implies that they have greater skill level and are an avid player of the game. So, according to Alderson-Day in 2015, the implementation of self-talk is defined as the internal speech or thinking that people use to spur themselves on, control their emotions, and improve performance. The implementation of self-talk uses positive affirmations, self-motivation, mental techniques, and all of this leads to reduced stress and increased self-confidence. So according to Bob Rotella in 2008 from Golf Digest, having control of your mind and using it properly can separate you from the competition, whether it's at your club or on the PGA Tour. Golfers such as Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy have all stated instances of their use of retrospective self-talk in their game and how it has promoted their golf performance. Bob Rotella again in 2008 from Golf Digest says that golfers who use positive self-talk are better able to deal with psychological stressors that have negative impacts on their scores. This can include stressors when in bad situations, stressors with fans, hecklers, anything like that. According to Hardy and Oliver in 2009 from the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology, reminiscing on prior accomplishments and successes while talking to oneself in the past helps keep golfers feel more confident. That's what the retrospective part of retrospective self-talk is intended to talk about, past successes. Hayes and Brown in 2004 from the Journal of Sport Behavior says that their research revealed a link between lower handicaps and self-confidence, but they could not prove this. This leads me into my gap. Extensive research has been completed on the results of self-talk and the results of self-confidence, but no study has the combination of both variables. In this study, retrospective self-talk will lead to the impact of self-confidence and in turn the change in golf handicap score. This leads me to my research question. How does retrospective self-talk affect self-confidence and in turn change golf scores? My hypothesis is that self-talk will influence self-confidence in a positive way, leading to improved golf scores. This leads me directly into my method. My foundational study is from Milne and Morrison in 2015 from their Sport and Exercise Psychology Review, Cognitive Behavioral Intervention for Golf Yips, a single case design. I love this study because it was a single case study design. It used both qualitative and quantitative data. In the study, it discovered difference in performance in golf play, and instruments included used surveys and interviews. However, my sample selection is going to be using three groups: high handicap, intermediate handicap, and low handicap. The first group is high handicap. A handicap of 20 plus means you are not an avid golfer. Maybe you play once or twice a month, once or twice a year. You are at the lowest level of golf. You shoot in the high 90s or more each round. Intermediate handicap, that's an average golfer. You know, someone who shoots in the 10 to 20 handicap range. Shooting in the low 80s to mid 90s. This is your golfer that plays, maybe once a week, twice a week, a couple times a month. Not great, but not awful. Low handicap is the under 10s. They shoot in the 70s or below. This is someone that is on a team or plays weekly at their own club. They're avid golfers. So in my sample selection, 2 golfers were selected from each group, and everyone in the study was 17 to 18. They played at Brookfield Country Club or Atlanta National Golf Club, and this was used through convenient sampling. All either lived or worked around Fulton County and could easily be accessed for this study. So this design was 3 weeks long. 3 scorecards were reported each week, and those scorecards were only 9 holes long. 1 online survey was filled out per week, and this had multiple questions as well as the 3 scorecards necessary each week. Golfers practiced 1 day, and a final interview was conducted at the finale of the study, and that was conducted by me. Every person was interviewed. Prior to completing the study, an informative video on the implementation of self-talk was provided. This was by Straw on YouTube. It covered the basics of self-talk, 6 minutes, just directly how to implement it into your game, how it can affect you, and how you can positively use it to lower your golf score. These were the weekly scorecard reports. This is from Atlanta National. This was included in their survey questions. They filled out either the front or back 9 of the scorecard. And what was your performance self-confidence at the start of the week? Negative 100 to 100. That was also a question, and this question was asked at the start and at the end of the week. Next was on a scale of 1 to 5. These 3 questions: how confident are you that you can hit the fairway? How confident are you that you can hit the green? And how confident are you in your ability to scramble? And we'll come back to the definition of being able to scramble. So my interviews included questions focusing on the implementation of their self-talk. The interview was focused directly on the self-talk portion of this study, not on the self-confidence. Their effects, instances of positive affirmations, instances of negative affirmations. This could be when they felt negatively affected by their implementation of the self-talk, maybe overthinking or something like that. And overall discussion of change in handicap, and questions about the connection between self-talk and confidence to see if they noticed anything that was maybe specific or anything like that. This leads me directly into my results. As you can see, the reported score is over here. In this case, it is the 9-round golf score, and in this case, the PSC, performance self-confidence, was out of 100. So the self-reported score average dropped weekly. This is week 1, week 2, week 3, as you can see over here. And the performance self-confidence at the start of the week rose dramatically, as well at the end of the week. So week 1, end of the week. Week 2, end of the week. Week 3, end of the week. And all of those rose dramatically. As self-reported scores start to diminish, the performance self-confidence scores rose rapidly. In this chart here, you can see that fairway confidence average in the dark green, green confidence average, that's hitting from the fairway, is in the light green, and the lightest green is scramble confidence average. Everything rose, but fairway confidence was by far the most, 2.5 all the way to 3.67 by the 3rd week, and scramble confidence average rose the least, only from 3.67 to 4. The results, 22% increase in fairway confidence, a 20% increase in green confidence, and scramble confidence only rose 10%. An interview from a low handicap golfer: starting a new hole and being able to visualize how I wanted every shot to go let me focus on my driver and improve my driving accuracy. This could be an explanation for why driving accuracy was improved so much. So average of all 9 golfers, 9-hole rounds, week 1 to 3. As you can see, the high handicap golfers right here dropped their scores dramatically, and low handicap golfers dropped the least, and mid-handicap golfers were sort of in the middle. Mid-handicap 2 seemed to have started lower than we thought he would. The greatest improvement was shown by the high handicap golfers, and when they were interviewed, they noted that consistency allowed them to solidify their scores at lower averages. They said that playing at least 3 times a week helped their inexperienced golf. They got more comfortable with their clubs. They got more comfortable with the fairways, with the tee boxes, with the greens, just the course overall. So another interview from low handicap golfer 1 said that they had little room for improvement as avid golfers because it doesn't give them enough time to drop 1 or 2 strokes because this study was only 3 weeks long. They said for this to have a lasting impact, it would need to be over an extended period of time. As you can see in this chart, performance self-confidence, this is week 1, week 2, week 3, and it went from 47 to 58.67, dropped a little bit after week 1, but once the golfers got more comfortable, went from 54 all the way up to 64, then to 69.5, and they finished at 80, rising by 33 total points in self-confidence out of 100. Individuals with higher handicaps showed a heightened receptiveness to the interventions than the lower handicap golfers. This could be explained by a greater scope for improvement. They're learning from the other golfers. They're learning how to manage their performance, how to manage their thoughts, and their range for improvement is much larger than someone that has been trying to improve their golf game over a longer period of time. New golfers can experience great differences in their golf scores shortly after they start. Low handicap golfers' experience with the game already does not give them an opportunity to drop more than 1 or 2 strokes. Fairway confidence average showed the most improvement. Scramble confidence average showed the least improvement. And golfers noted in their surveys that it was easiest to perform their self-talk strategies when beginning a new hole, when there was a blank slate in their head. Low handicap golfer 1 said starting a new hole and being able to visualize how they wanted every shot to go let them focus on their drivers. So being able to hit off of the new tee box and not off in the rough, off of a drop or out of the sand, it severely affected their mental health in a positive way. This directly led into green confidence average. GCA went from 2.67 out of 5 to 3.67 out of 5. And this measured the golfer's confidence hitting the fairway, hitting the green from the fairway. When the golfers positioned themselves for easier shots, they had much greater performance, and this was categorized as a domino effect. Positive change in driving ability led to their positive change in fairway driving ability, and this led to a positive drop in scores. Now we get to the definition of scrambling. According to the School of Golf in 2024, the ability of a golfer to recover from a poor or difficult shot, make par or better on a hole. It also is described as measuring golfers' short game skills, to get out of trouble. Self-talk had the least effect on this scrambling confidence, and my takeaway was that difficult situations provided an increased sense of adversity, and this increased sense of adversity is hard to practice with self-talk with only 3 weeks of practice put in. Scrambling requires an array of shots, and this increased pressure along with the delayed feedback, because scrambling shots are, out in the distance in the rough, maybe you're not near your friends. This delayed feedback led to an 8.9% increase in scrambling confidence ability, which isn't bad, it's still an increase, but the next closest variable was fairway driving ability at 37.38. Self-confidence overall increased while scores improved, and the average of all golfers' self-confidence went from 47 to 80. The average of the 9-hole golf scores went from 47 to 42. This is a positive drop in scores, which means they were doing better, and this is a positive rise in self-confidence. The psychological effects that led to this phenomenon can be described as reducing performance anxiety, optimizing decision making, enhancing performance consistency, and the most important, creating a positive feedback loop. Improved performance leads to boosted confidence levels. These boosted confidence levels lead to their physical abilities to grow, fairway, putting, driving, chipping, everything, and this leads to improved performance. This positive feedback loop is very important. According to Derek Milne and Gordon Morrison in their Behavior of Intervention for the Golf Yips, chipping would improve over the course of their study. They said that shot averages measured in feet away from the hole decreased with every week. This was prompted by their implementation of retrospective self-talk. Some themes that I found in my interviews were that to have a lasting impact on the low handicap golfers, the better golfers it would need to be for an extended period of time. Milne and Morrison's data collection was on an avid golfer. He just had a mental problem. And this lasted over a 3-month period. I think that these low handicap golfers could find great productivity if the study lasted longer. Their data was analyzed to have the greatest effect after the follow-up period, and this was after 3 months. So some implications that I can talk about was that golfers can utilize self-talk as an easily implementable factor in improving their golf scores. You can implement it in practice in your daily rounds, anything like that. And implementation can begin by watching a simple provided video. And this provided video can be, a lot of them are on YouTube. You can find the implementation of self-talk, and golfers can expect an immediate increase in their performance confidence if they implement self-talk the right way. Some limitations include reliability of honest responses, and this could be due to the interviews coming after the 3-week trial period. People could forget their data, forget specific shots, and interviews and surveys, you can't guarantee 100% honest responses. Weather affecting performance. There was rain at the original start of the study, and that lasted 2 weeks. We had to postpone the start, but during the first week, the fairways were wet, the greens were wet, and this could have affected performance. It can affect the way the clubs hit. It can affect the way your feet are on the fairway, on the tee box, and the green, affect the speed of putting. It can affect a lot of things, mental as well, and specific circumstances of the study. Not all golfers were told to perform their routines at the same time. So some could have gone back to back to back, 3 days in a row. Others could have spaced them out. This could affect how tired they were, and others practiced in groups, and getting feedback from your partners can increase or decrease the way that your performance is affected, and others could have played by themselves, and that could have affected their scores as well. Future research, I would like to replicate the study over a longer period of time to get that long-lasting effect on those more experienced golfers. Another way would be to evaluate the exact type of self-talk that benefits golfers the most. I use retrospective self-talk, but there's other types of self-talk that people could use, and catering to people's specific needs and wants that could benefit their performance best could really affect in a positive way the way that golfers play their game. Combination interventions, combining retrospective self-talk with breathing techniques, with yoga, with other mental fortitude techniques could really affect in a positive way that these golfers get mentally treated.
You want to do oral defense?
Yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
How did your initial exploration of the scholarly conversation lead to your final research question/project goal?
So originally I wanted to see what type of energy drinks, sports drinks, caffeine, stuff like that, performance enhancing substances, how that affected golfers in their game. And I was researching that, but it's very hard to do that type of study on the convenience sampling that I was trying to use. So I catered a little differently to mental techniques that could affect golfers at this age. And I learned that self-talk was used in a lot of sports. Specifically, it's been used on me. I went to a therapist, and they helped me perform in my own sport with mental fortitude. And I really wanted to take a deeper dive into what that looked like. Self-confidence is affecting a lot of teens, and I wanted to see if self-talk could really affect self-confidence. Derek Milne and Derek Morrison attacked the way that the yips are the way the yips affects golfers, and that is a hiccup in golf performance. So they really attacked that with self-talk, and I wanted to see if it could positively affect golfers my age and in my area.
How does your new understanding address a gap in the scholarly conversation?
So my new understanding combines self-talk with self-confidence. Although there is research on self-talk and self-confidence specifically, no research heavily outlines the connection between all three: self-talk, self-confidence, and a positive correlation in golf scores like this study does.
How did you handle the uncertainty of the research process?
So through the uncertainty of the research process, I stayed true with what I wanted to find. I wanted to find how golfers could get positively affected in their golf game. And although I started with performance enhancing substances and I went over to mental fortitude techniques, I found that self-talk was the most easily implementable way to affect your golf score. And if you do it right, it can be very, very powerful.